Welcome back to Tittok, the mess that is my mind. Thank you for coming back if you've been here previously, and if you're brand new, my name is Jennifer and I'm here to get some stuff off of my chest. I'm sipping on a margarita and I just want to thank you. I want to thank you for listening. If you're a returning listener or watcher, thank you so much for coming back. If you're listening for the first time, thank you for being here. I'm a 25-year-old female living in Toronto, a city that I love, currently in a state in which I don't love it being in, but I'm making the best of it. And I've got frosted flakes on my face. Cheers! You're like, wow, Jennifer, what are you sipping on today? / you look a little bit different. Those of you watching via YouTube will notice that I'm sipping on a chili-rimmed margarita, and I also don't have makeup on, so that's a vibe. We're rocking the no makeup look, or at least in my opinion, that's what I'm telling myself anyways, because you guessed it, she got a chemical peel. She finally got to go and get a layer of her skin burnt off, or acid peeled off, whatever even happened. We had one pass of 20% salicylic, grace this visage. Today was the day that I woke up and I was terrified at what I saw. The reflection that was looking back at me was nothing that I've ever seen before. Not in a bad way, just unexpected. I had gone the first, 48 hours after the chemical peel with no visible flaking, no visible peeling. And then this morning it was just a whole new story. I woke up and I felt like I was like an old lady zombie frosted flake. I don't even know. But I have around my chin and like this more thinner sensitive parts around my nose. Those are all flaking off, but I'm excited. It means it's working. And in all honesty, the whole process thus far has been really great. I mean, I'd recommend any of you who are sort of hesitant or haven't gone to get a chemical peel, if pain or sort of fear of the unknown is what's holding you back, go for it, girl, because I'm looking forward to my next one in 3.5 weeks now. I'm really holding my title of Miss Tequila with this delicious chili lime mango margarita concoction that I've created just now. It's too good. I must have been some sort of cocktail mixer in my past life, because I'm just a little bit too good at making cocktails, in my opinion. It's not a bad hobby to take up. It wasn't really something I did in quarantine. I've always found it fun to mix together different flavors. I'm not really much of a baker. I do enjoy cooking. I like to think I'm a good cook for, somebody who wasn't raised with a lot of spices. I was raised in a meat and potato family, as they say. So now that I ventured out on my own, started to integrate a little bit more flavor into my own home cooking, I thought I'd take it a little step further and go to drinks and cocktails, and it's fun. It's, it's almost like art, combining different colors and different flavors to get something totally new is totally fun for me. Totally fun, totally awesome, and I'm having a totally great week. I really am, though. I know I was a little anxious when I spoke to you guys last because I was about to leave my dog. I had mentioned that I'd be going to London, Ontario, the serial killer capital of Ontario. I was going to go to London to watch my boyfriend perform some comedy, because he's a great comedian, and he deserves to be on stage and doing the stuff that he loves to do. Please support live comedy. Please support arts. Please support local shit. I know you've heard it from a bunch of people, but I'm going to remind you, okay? Get out in the world if you can. If you're blessed enough to be in a city that's not being withheld, not being held with ridiculous restrictions, then go out and enjoy the things that you can in life, because it makes you feel alive. It really does. Even though Toronto is in lockdown still, And, you know, although I was able to go get my chemical peel and we're able to go into places now, you know, we're able to now go into the dog food store instead of doing curbside pickup. We're able to go in places, you know, heaven forbid we can go into places, step foot into, you know, brick and mortar stores that are there to serve us. Anyways, I don't want to go too much into that this week. So last time we talked, I was mentioning that I was going to head over to London, Ontario, the serial killer capital of the world, really, of Ontario. I don't really know. It's just the capital of testing shit out and freaky people doing freaky things because it's just a testing ground. London, Ontario. I survived, guys. I was fine. My dog was fine. Everything was fine. It was an exercise in letting go, and it was so necessary. I got through it just fine, surprisingly. You know, just like I said before, I work myself up for no reason. I like to overthink and freak out for no reason. You know, my dog was in the care of my grandmother, and I was in the care of myself and my boyfriend, and everything was fine. And, you know, I packed like a bunch of stuff in order to keep myself relaxed if anything were to happen, but I was relaxed. I simply, you know, let go. I didn't let God, because, like, when has he ever really helped me out? No, I'm just kidding. I just let go, went with the flow, and it was great. I had so much fun. It was great to, like I said, support live comedy, stay in a hotel. Even if it was like a shitty Holiday Inn Express, it was still a great experience. There's nothing wrong with a Holiday Inn Express, you know? I had to ask, like, what's with the express part of it? And then, you know, I got a couple laughs, like, oh, you'll find out. It's because they haven't fixed the elevator in, like, 7 years. You know, they don't want you to stay long. It's not that nice, because they don't want you to stay long. It's just an express stay. Yeah, the day I got my chemical peel, you know, I woke up and I needed to confirm my appointment because of, you know, the place that I've been trying to go. It's been not necessarily wishy-washy, but, you know, I think it was the beginning of December 2020 that I, like, gave them a bunch of money and was like, okay, like, I can't wait to get all these services done. And it was just, yeah, like, what, March 9th, 2021 that I finally got my first service done with them. So it's just been a whole process of just simply getting my butt into their little chair and getting the procedure done. So I called morning of to confirm. You know, I was really excited. I went in there, you know, everything's so clean and bright, and, you know, it's just like the bougiest clinic in all of Yorkville, like the, you know, swankiest, bougiest part of Toronto. So I go in there in my little Tittok leggings and my big blue sweater, and I'm just like, hey, here for my chemical peel. I'm so excited. You know, nice Korean lady comes up. She's like, okay, right this way, Jennifer. You know, so she's explaining to me that it's going to hurt, you know, I might, you know, medical grade acid, you might not peel, you may, you know, everyone's a little bit different. But the whole process took maybe 20 minutes. It was really, really quick. I was expecting it to take a lot longer and be a lot more painful than it ended up being. It was not painful at all. You know, she gave me a nice cleanse, exfoliating, toner, and then it was time to do 20% salicylic. You know, she's mentioned, you know, depending on where you go, they might be really aggressive and do like 10 passes of some really strong glycolic acid. But for a first time, one pass of just like a 20% salicylic is still gonna bring lots of benefit. And, you know, you can only build up from there. So next time, she said we're gonna do a glycolic, if not a stronger salicylic. And if this is not resonating with you, it doesn't resonate with me either. I've been on an acne journey for years now, and I still can't get my, like, AHAs, salicylic, BHAs, retinols, vitamin Cs, chemical peels, all the things. It's a lot, okay? But beauty's pain, it's worth it in the end. And, you know, the point about the chemical peels is that it wasn't as painful as I thought it was going to be. You know, when it was time for her to actually do the pass of the salicylic, she told me to just, you know, take a deep breath, get into a meditative state. And if I'm being honest with you, you know, she did my right side of my face first, followed by my left. And within a minute of the acid being applied, the pain had subsided. It wasn't an unbearable pain. It's similar to the pain you would feel if you had very sensitive skin and you put a product on that your skin really didn't like, and it was just like causing this burning, irritable sensation. That's what it felt like. But it wasn't intolerable. I just sat there with this really cute skincare lady as she was fanning me down, asking if the pain had subsided yet. I just got up. I had a red ass face. And I lucked out. The first 2 days, my skin felt very like tight and dry. I was putting lots of creams on, of course sunscreen, even though I've pretty well been indoors except for one day. I've been following up with the care that I need to be following up with. And then day 3 I just started flapping in the wind as I suspected. It's not as bad as, you might see in movies or in sitcoms. There's like a scene in Sex and the City where Samantha's got, just crazy chemical peel. But that's not reality, especially if you pay good money and you go to a place that's going to use medical grade products. You're probably going to be in great hands and receive great results like I have received thus far. So thank you so much, Bel Air Laser Clinic on Cumberland. Appreciate y'all. And I can't wait to go back for more chemical peels and Fraxels and broken capillary fixing uppers and all the other future sessions that I have coming up. I'm excited. Very excited, yeah. After my chemical peel, I had to Uber home. So I was walking around Yorkville trying to locate my Uber, like the good old days, because it was a sunny day, so everybody was out running errands. Like I said, Toronto had opened up for people to do some in-store shopping again. So the city sort of came alive, and it was fun. I was like messaging my Uber driver, like, where are you? Like, there's so many one-way streets, and by the time we finally located each other, we were both apologizing. Very Canadian thing to do. Oh, I'm so sorry, I couldn't find you. Very Canadian to like apologize to like your Uber driver because he wasn't like the most unreachable spot to a pedestrian. But nonetheless, he drove me home. Wasn't a very long walk, but of course I couldn't, be so exposed to the sun after my chemical peel, so I had no option but to get a drive home. And we're driving down Bloor Street, which is the main street downtown Toronto, one of the main ones. And there's just people lined up for blocks and blocks to get into Winners and HomeSense and Nike and stupid bullshit places. Like, people, they're selling last season's merchandise. Like, why do we really need so much stuff? We just spent so much time in our houses surrounded by all of our stuff, hopefully going through our stuff and decluttering. But like, why the first moment that we get to go out and consume all this bullshit, are we really needing to like take it? Really? I mean, my Uber driver and I joked, like, wow, this is so nice to see Toronto the way that we are used to it being. The reason I moved to this city was to be around all this life and not necessarily consumption, but just this energy of being in a big city and seeing people and just, this, like I was saying last episode, this like higher pulse and heart rate of life. That's why I'm here, and it's so nice to see that again. And I got a little taste of that after my chemical peel the other day, which was really nice. I really pride myself on keeping a nice home, a fully stocked fridge, fully stocked pantry. Having a fresh cup of coffee first thing in the morning is such a crucial part in my morning routine. I keep a very precise grocery list. I follow it to a T. But I fucked myself over the other morning. I went to go get some coffee to put into my coffee maker, and I simply had no grounds. And I thought, insert that sound of like a car coming to a screeching halt. Where the fuck is my coffee? What the fuck do I do? How the fuck do I start my morning? What do I do without coffee? I don't know what to do with myself. What do I, I've never been one to order Starbucks off of Uber Eats first thing in the morning, or McDonald's, or just, I haven't utilized that part of technology that a lot of people of my age utilize at least 3 times a day. I'm not one of those people. I keep a fully stocked pantry, cabinet, kitchen, the whole thing. But it really proved to me just how addicted I am to coffee when I didn't have it the other morning. I haven't run into that issue ever in the years that I've been drinking coffee. And if I can think back to how I first got addicted to coffee, I was working at Sears, rest in peace, Canadian company that is no longer. Right when they were going under, I was working there and going to college at the time. So my sleep schedule was just, I was working 5 a.m. to 1 p.m. and then going to school. Like, it was just so, I don't even know how I did it. But it was at that, in that chapter of my life that I started drinking coffee. I sort of had this idea of like, oh, I guess adults drink this in order to wake up. So I'll give it a try because I'm tired all the time. So that's when I started getting into coffee. And that was, over 6 years ago. So it's been a while. And it's been 6 years, 7+ years that I haven't gone a morning without coffee until the other day. And I had to face this fear I didn't know I had. I had no other choice, really. What was I going to do? Not walk my dog? Not, carry on as I should have? So after, coming to this, first terrifying realization, I just, started to, tend to my morning as I normally would. Brush my teeth, wash my face, get dressed, take my dog out. And, and then I sort of had to just go with the flow. I had this, day of going with the flow. And, it was, but I haven't had my morning coffee yet. We can't go anywhere. We can't do all this stuff. And yeah, I was thrown off my morning routine, but it ended up being the best day. We got our coffee. We ended up going, to a part of town we don't often go to. We went down to the beach, we hit some stops on our way, we did all these things, and I was just spontaneous. And it all started with me not having my morning coffee and being totally thrown off of my morning routine. So as much as I preach, have a morning routine, get your day in a good order, it's also, kind of fun to throw yourself off of that routine, and I didn't do it intentionally. What threw me off of that routine was not having coffee and then being just all scramble-minded first thing in the morning. I just sort of, was, so vulnerable and, perfect candidate for a cult that day. If anyone was looking for somebody to join their cult, I would have been perfect. I was just totally wide-eyed and didn't know what to do with myself. But anyway, coffee is a real addiction. Okay, I've even quit smoking once in my life, and here I am being addicted to cigarettes again. I don't know what the deal is with us humans and being addicted to things and always having to have a vice. And maybe I'm speaking to somebody, maybe I'm in your ears and you don't have a vice. And if that's the case, give me your advice for not having a vice, because if it's not smoking weed or smoking cigarettes or, at this point it's going to become these new spicy mango chili margarita concoctions is going to become my new vice. Anyway, in all seriousness, I do want to talk about having your own shit. Having your own shit going for you. I've been guilty in previous relationships and even in my current relationship, not putting as much focus on prioritizing my own business, my own life. Not that I don't have a life. Obviously, I have a life and I do my own shit. But I've been really guilty of putting everything I have into a relationship and leaving myself with nothing. And I've been fortunate enough to be with people that are really independent and do their own shit and pursue their dreams. And then I love supporting those people and following their dreams. And there's something so fulfilling around being people and watching them and witnessing them put in that work. And then when it gets, having things go into fruition and then having the reward, watching all of that in your eyes, having that happen right in front of your eyes is the coolest thing. And I got so used to doing that for so long, watching somebody else put in the work and get the reward. Not that I wasn't doing my own shit on the side, but just, there's nothing wrong with being the supporting role, but in doing the supporting, don't lose your own focus on your own shit, because that's really important, And I think a lot of women are really guilty of doing that, not just giving themselves entirely to a relationship, but just not keeping something for themselves. That's so important to have. I always preach about, spending your alone time and having that familiar sense of self. But having an activity, even if it's not a creative activity or a physical, if it's not painting or running or podcasting or you have to have something for yourself that keeps you going, that you enjoy working on, that you look forward to returning to. Because if you give all of yourself into something that may not give you that reward, and I'm not just talking about a relationship, but if you're only giving your everything into a relationship, and that's the fear about being in a relationship. That's the thing, and that's something I'm learning, because I have major trust issues, but I want to love and I deserve to be loved. So if I'm going to put myself out there, I've got to be willing to trust. And the scariest part about that is that I've got to be willing to maybe not get that reward back, or maybe not get the happy ending that we all sort of want. And that's the vulnerability of being in love. But also, if you don't, while being in love, while we all deserve these wonderful things, we also deserve, to have something going for us and plant those seeds for our own garden and our own life to flourish and be colorful and fruitful. So plant the seeds for your own life to be fruitful. Relationship seeds, health seeds, career seeds, self-love seeds. You've gotta, you're a gardener. You gotta tend to your own garden, okay? I've got a bunch of dead flowers around me because I like collecting dead flowers. I like spraying, sympathy bundles, as I call them. I wrote a poem about, flowers and receiving fresh flowers as gifts. Great gift to receive. Who doesn't love to receive flowers? But there's almost this, message of, sympathy bundle, or, I used to receive roses after dance recitals, or, sometimes guys give you flowers if they feel guilty or just for fun, just because, which is still wonderful. But I spray them with hairspray at the end of the day, and they just get collected amongst my home into these dried bouquets, because I just love dried flowers. I don't know what it is. Fresh flowers are great too, but there's just something really nostalgic and antique and timeless about a dried flower. Not that anybody asked, but that's what I'm here to give. My opinion that nobody really asked for. That's what Tittok is. Me offering my opinion that you probably never asked for. Guys, I'm on Clubhouse. I didn't join Clubhouse the first chance that I got. I was sort of like, what the fuck is the point? Seems stupid. Not interested. I'm good. But now I'm on Clubhouse. It's overhyped for sure. So if you're not on it, don't feel the need to be all I'm missing out. You're not. All people like to do on Clubhouse is talk about Clubhouse and how all other social medias are dying and how Clubhouse will eventually die, but we should all be on Clubhouse because it's the new place to be. I don't know if I'm a fan. I'm going to continue to listen in and give my 2 cents when I feel like it. If you feel like following me, Jenn MacDonald is my legal name, and it's where you can find me on that app. But also, don't feel the pressure to follow me because I don't really know what I'm doing on there yet. I'm just observing, I'm listening, I'm learning. As the great Tim Dillon says, you could just spend 12 hours on there listening and learning. That's not a direct quote. He's got some funny things to say. He likes to start his own rooms and, have some conversations about, should women own Bitcoin? Should women be allowed to own Bitcoin? Which is great. Those are the reasons why I'm on Clubhouse, to get some contrasting opinions. Kind of like how last episode I said, be friends with people that might do things differently in life. Whether it's occupational wise, or have different ways of thinking or different political opinions. That's kind of why I find value in Clubhouse anyways, because there's people that have very different opinions than me. And it's entertaining to listen to them defend those opinions. But yeah, Clubhouse people just like to talk about Clubhouse, and that's that. Also, the fact that my dog has been in the background this whole time. Those of you watching on YouTube. What a treat. What a fucking treat he is. Oh, he knows it too. Cheers to the global pandemic. I like how I said I wasn't going to talk about it, but that's all we fucking seem to be talking about because that's what's relevant in life to a lot of us. New running shoes. They're an upgrade of the Nike Odyssey React. I think that's what I've been running in the last 2 years. If you guys aren't into running, that's fine. Fast forward this part. I don't care. Skip to the end. Listen back to another episode. I'm here to talk about fucking running shoes, okay? They're purple. All right. I'll insert a picture. They're purple. They're gonna get me where I need to go a lot faster. Probably not, but I needed some motivation to get back into running. I've been running. I've been doing some stuff this season, and it feels good. I love getting out there, and I needed to upgrade because my bunions had busted out a hole in the side of the shoes. They look like trash. They really do. They give me no support. And that's an issue. When you're running, you need some support, and usually in the right places, especially for people that have busted up feet like I do. Okay, I've got bunions. I was a classically trained ballerina for over a decade. My feet when I was born were fucked up to begin with, so I'm working with some really high maintenance feet. Yeah, I am. My feet are very high maintenance. It goes with the whole rest of the person, really. I'm not high maintenance. I'm just a lot to deal with. Okay, and my feet are no exception to that. So we've treated them to some new purple Nike Epic Reacts. I can't wait to run in them. Got them on sale. They're not new. They're a great running shoe though, and yeah, I'm gonna go run up my rocky stairs and rock my next run as soon as I'm allowed to sweat. Because one of the little side notes to getting a chemical peel is that you cannot sweat profusely in your face for 7 days. You're allowed to work out, do a couple, calf raises and squats, but no profuse sweating. So for me, that's basically any working out. I can lift my fucking finger and I start sweating. No, I'm just kidding. I'm a healthy girl. But I do sweat on my runs. That's kind of why I run. I love sweating. I hate marinating in my own sweat, but I love sweating. I love feeling like I've pushed myself to the point of, releasing those toxins out of my skin. It's a good feeling. If you haven't sweat lately, I highly recommend you go get a good sweat in. Not only is it good for your skin and your mental health, but your confidence too. It just makes you feel like a beast. You're like, I'm working myself so hard. This is great. Follow us on TikTok, guys. Follow us on Instagram. Subscribe on YouTube. Rate us on whatever podcast platform you're listening on. I want you guys to come back. I want you guys to give me feedback. I want it all, okay? I'm here to take the world. Take the world by storm. Take the world by Stormy Webster if I have to. Thanks for letting me get some stuff off of my chest this week, guys. I feel a little bit looser. We're nearing the end of this drink here. Here's to a good weekend. Here's to a therapy session coming up on Monday. I'm gonna go get some comfy clothes on. Peace and love. Please subscribe. Please rate us. I'd love for you guys to come back and get a little bit more of me. Who knows what we're going to talk about next week, but I'm sure there's going to be a couple things that I need to get off of my tits. So stay tuned. Peace and love, guys.